What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the final NFL video of the regular season. This is week 18 of the 2022-2023 NFL season. This is going to go out a little bit late. We were unaware that two games were scheduled for Saturday. Just know these picks were made prior. So if it goes out in between those games or halfway through one, understand we did make these picks prior. And additionally, we want to just say congratulations to Damar Hamlin for successfully fighting through the conditions and horrible circumstances that followed Monday night's game. And we wish him continued success in that battle. Just so you guys know, this will be a relatively short video. A lot of these games don't matter. So we're going to breeze through the ones that don't. The ones that do, we'll go a little bit more in depth. Brett was not able to make it. He has work. Hopefully, we will be able to figure something out for next week for the beginning of the playoffs. But let's go ahead and get started. Kansas City at the Raiders. Raiders getting 9.5. We don't think it's enough. Kansas City's just a better team. There's not much to be said about that. Next up, we have Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville, 6.5 point favorites at home. We think that's fair. This game has a lot riding on it because the winner of this game will be the AFC South champion and will go to the playoffs and will host a playoff game. We think that that's probably going to be Jacksonville. We trust Jacksonville more. Tennessee has been a lot more shaky and disassembled over the past half the season, honestly. So we're gonna take Jacksonville here. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati 9.5 point favorites at home. That's a huge amount. But with Lamar Jackson being out still, it's a fair amount. We're gonna take Cincinnati here, especially since they still have something to fight for. Because if Baltimore is to win this game, there's a chance, even though Cincinnati has the division locked up, they would have to play an away game in the first round of the playoffs just because of all the circumstances with the canceled game last week. So Cincy still has something to fight for, so we're going to take Cincy here. Up next, we have Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Cleveland feels like they're getting together a little bit. Pittsburgh's been on a bit of a hot streak, and they still have something to fight for. But we're going to take Cleveland here just because it was honestly a toss-up for me, but I just like Cleveland a little bit more. Up next, we have Minnesota at Chicago. Chicago 5.5 point underdogs at home. Honestly, think that's enough. Minnesota doesn't have a lot to play for. They'll probably rest some people. Their seeding isn't probably going to change any at this point. So why risk anything? So yeah, we're going to take Chicago with the spread. Buffalo -7 at home, hosting the Patriots. We like Buffalo here. They still have a little bit to play for. Try and work out seeding and stuff like that, especially with the cancellation last week. So we're gonna take Buffalo here. New England, just not exactly who we trust. And if New England loses this game, there's a good chance that they fall out of the playoffs. So something to keep an eye on there. Up next, we got the Jets at the Dolphins. The Dolphins -3 at home. We like Miami here, mainly because the Jets are going to be starting Flacco, and that's a little wishy-washy. But this is an any man's game kind of thing, so we're going to take Miami, but we don't feel overly great about it. Tampa Bay, surprisingly, is the underdog in their game with Atlanta here. I would assume that is because they have every intention of resting with no hazard of moving in the playoffs. So they'll probably rest and take this as like a pseudo bye week for their starters. But we still take Tampa here. We trust Tampa more here. But again, any man's game. The problem with the last week of the NFL is a lot of teams don't have anything to play for, so you have no idea what they're going to do. In a game that doesn't matter, for example, Carolina at New Orleans. Carolina getting 3.5. We're going to take Carolina just because they're getting points. Neither of these teams have a chance at the playoffs. And Carolina has been kind of surprising here and there, so we're going to take them. Houston at Indy. Houston getting 2.5. Surprised that Houston's getting points. We're going to take Houston here. They've been the better team consistently for the last couple weeks than Indianapolis. Indianapolis has been struggling. Who knows who their quarterback's going to be? Half the time, we're going to take Houston. Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco 14.5-point favorites at home. That is a crazy number, but a justified one. The Cardinals don't have a quarterback right now. San Francisco might be the best team in the NFL right now. It's just an easy. We're going to take San Francisco despite the massive spread because we do think they are that much better. Up next, we got Dallas at Washington. Dallas 7-point favorites on the road. Still technically fighting for the division, depending on if the Eagles win or not. Dallas could win the division. We're both going to take Dallas here. Washington, wishy-washy, starting a brand new quarterback, have nothing to fight for other than playing spoiler for the Cowboys, which they do love to do, but we just don't think they're good enough to do it, and Dallas has more to fight for. But again, you never know what Dallas is going to show up. Up next, we have the Rams at Seattle. The Rams getting 6. Don't think that's enough. I will say that just show me that my typo for later in here. So let's fix this real quick. That is LAC, as is this. Fantastic. We're going to take Seattle here. We trust Seattle more than the Rams. Rams have just been shaky. Seattle's still fighting for a playoff spot. And if Seattle does win here, then they will effectively eliminate the Lions from the playoffs, despite the Lions playing phenomenally these last few weeks. Up next, we're gonna have the Giants at Philly. Giants getting 14. We're both gonna take the Giants here. We think there's a chance that the Giants could definitely keep this close. Me personally, I think there's a chance that the Giants could win this game, depending on how ready Jalen Hurts is to play football. They haven't been able to win without him. The Giants could want to play spoiler. So we're going to take the Giants here, especially with that 14-point spread. Up next, we have the Chargers at the Broncos. The Broncos, for some reason, the Broncos 3-point favorites. I'm assuming because they're anticipating the Chargers rest. Don't think it's enough. Chargers win. Nothing to be said here. And then the game that has some major playoff implications potentially. Green Bay at Detroit. Detroit at Green Bay. Detroit getting 4.5 points on the road. Both of these teams, people thought were dead in the water early in the season, and now both of them potentially fighting for a playoff spot. Both of them 8-8. The winner of this game will have a winning record. The loser will have a losing record. Both of these teams have played phenomenally over the last 5 weeks or so. Green Bay, especially on a 4-game win streak, they were 4-8. Now they're knocking on playoffs door. Brett and I are both going to take the Green Bay here. We think that they're just the team that's going to manage to sneak into that 7 seed and probably go up against San Francisco. Now that's probably not who they want to go up against. But who knows, I mean, if San Francisco wins this week and Dallas wins and Philly loses, then Dallas becomes the 2 seed. It's Green Bay at Dallas in the first round of the playoffs, and we all know that Green Bay is a Dallas killer. So anything can happen any given Sunday. We are clearly going to have a losing record this season, and we'll have to discuss if next season we want to continue doing the spread or just do pick 'em, because maybe we'll fare better for a year and get some of our confidence back. But that is going to do it for the regular season. Please let us know what you guys think, and we will see you guys for the playoffs next week. Bye, guys.